Well, good morning, everybody. Hello. Hey, it's Becky from Power Tools with Fred. You are in our Stitchuation room. This is a Monday through Friday virtual stitching retreat where you hang out with me in here, follow me on my sewing journey, and I hope I can inspire you to put something under the needle. Good morning, everybody in the chat. So great to see you guys. If you are new, this is your first time, please let me know. Pop in the chat and say hello. You do have to be logged into your Google account in order to be able to live chat, but we have a welcoming committee in our virtual retreat, and they will give you lots of virtual love. Hello, everybody. Yes, Richmond, Illinois. Hi, Lisa. Glad you are here. Okay, you guys, we've got a little thing going on. If you are new, we have dog time. So this is Frito and Dottie. So Frito is our 5-year-old Australian Queensland stumpy tail cattle dog. She's our rescue. And this new one here is Dottie. This is her baby sister. There you go. That's not for you, Frito. This is for Dottie. Good girl. There you go. Okay. And then everybody gets a stick. Dottie's just going to take hers. There you go. Go brush your teeth. Bye-bye. All right, you guys. Yes. Yep, Dottie. I know she's here. We'll do a little Dottie cam in a little bit. Daddy is indisposed at the moment, so he's not babysitting just yet, and it's on me. So I beg your grace and forgiveness if I have to do some Dottie damage control. My sewing room has turned into a little puppy room for sure. So if she gets a little bored, I have a chewy stick for her. I tell you guys, one of the best things I learned about having a dog that, you know, if you get a dog that has separation anxiety or the puppies and they get bored or whatever, you can get those thank you patches and petals. Penny, you're so sweet. She says, we got you. You can take those Kong toys. They look like a snowman, a 3-ball snowman, but they're hollow inside. And you can put pate or peanut butter. So pate is the way to go. Peanut butter, they get rid of pretty quickly. But you put the dog pate inside of it and put it in the freezer. And this YouTuber called it a meat sickle. What are you doing? They want to see you, baby. Come see her pretty face, y'all. This is Dottie. Isn't she a love? Look at that face. Look at that face. Oh, she said, what are we doing? You're a sweet girl. She is a cowboy corgi. Breed is so new that they're not even in the computer at the vet yet, but doodles weren't there a long time ago either. So now they are. She is growing. She's 9 weeks. And y'all, I'm such a proud mom. We had our first dry night. Yay! I came out this morning and she's looking for her chew. Again, I told you I was going to have to do this. I'll take you with me. It's over here on the corner of my desk. Just a minute. Frito has a chew, so Dottie needs her chew too. Here you go, baby. Take that. Okay. That will keep her busy. All right. That's one of those busy bones. And she started it this morning. I had to take it away from her for a little bit while we did our business. And now she has it back, and that keeps everybody quiet. But that meat sickle stays frozen, and it's cold on their little teeth. Remember babies' teeth we used to freeze they had those gel or water inside. We didn't come here to talk about my dogs. Okay, so I got to show you guys something. Yesterday, I think it's salvageable. This is a Dottie destruction, but I think it's salvageable. I'll just press it out. If not, I've got more. Not a big deal. That is for that quilted Christmas tree. There's Daddy. So, hi, Daddy. Hi, Keith. Day shift. Yeah, we're tag teaming. So I gave her one of those busy bone chewies. She'll take it with her. Okay. Well, okay. I'll let you handle that. All right. Everybody saying hi, Keith. Who said we didn't come to talk about dogs, Pam? I know, right? Y'all, this is my life. This is what, so when you go to a quilting retreat, do you not just sit there and talk about everything, right? Family, doctors, dogs, kids. Yeah. Oh, so thank you. Thank you, Jane. Yeah, Dottie's precious. You just cannot get mad at her. She's getting really good too. She's learned don't chew cords. That's a thing. Putting the bitter apple on that. So anyway, where was I? So yesterday we stitched on the multi-needle the, and I don't know if you guys can see this. We stitched the corn and the milk can. This is for Autumn Love. Look at that, y'all. Just gorgeous. Now I want to show you, husbands too. We do talk about husbands, absolutely. So this, and I'm doing mine as a quilt as you go. So I am adding in batting into mine. Okay. So this one, look at how lumpy this is. Plus I used the wrong background quilting. Not that it's a big deal. Okay. But look how lumpy this one is. This is using the 100% cotton batting that I have. It's not a warm product. I got it from Loft Supply. That's where I like to get my quilt battings on the roll. And this was just a scrap. Okay, Loft Supply. So look at the difference in the finish. Look how smooth and pretty this is. This is Designs by Juju's Lofty Soft. Her brand new product. I've got a link to it below in the description box. I just want to show you how clean and pretty this stitched out compared to the other one. Isn't that amazing? So this Lofty Soft is perfect for your wall hangings, your placemats, your table runners, Christmas tree skirts, all of that. Here's the drape on it. And here's the drape. Got a little bit more drape on the cotton. Okay. This is a viscose. This is a cotton. Not a lot of difference, but you can tell. Okay. A little bit more drape on the cotton. So I think for those of you that are embroiderers, you're going to love her Lofty Soft for your flat projects like this. All of your in the hoop projects, I think you're really going to like it. This, I was thinking about redoing it, but I probably won't, simply because the background quilting is wrong. Not that that matters. You know, when you walk by it and it's hanging on a wall, you're not going to notice, and it's not going in a show. So I'm not that particular about it. I used the chicken wire in this one, and I used the crosshatch in this one. So all of my outside blocks have a crosshatch. I saw yesterday on our Facebook group, somebody had the insides all done with the star border, and it just looked absolutely beautiful. She said the end is in sight. So that's very cool. Now, I am going to press this and see if that doesn't make it look more like this right out the gate. So that may do. So Kelly, is there a question? Oh, I didn't specify which one. There are like 6 formula. Oh, okay, I'm not going to, that's not me. Anyway. So, oh, I got distracted. You bought the batting from Juju. Yeah, you'll love it. I like the, now my plan was chicken wire quilting behind the house. All of the middle blocks, chicken wire quilting. So, and then crosshatch on all of the outside blocks, including the stars, I think. But I'm going to give this a press, and it may go ahead and flatten it down. We'll see. I'm going to press all of my blocks anyway before I get to stitching them. And that just helps everything lay a little bit flatter before you start assembling them. And yesterday I did make a giant basting line. I used Brilliance Essentials to make a basting line around this. And then I just used a rotary cutter, y'all. And I just free willied it and just trimmed off that outer basting. Very, very easy. That way I don't have to unpick it. So I made the basting line larger. And if you can do that in Brilliance with the basting line that comes with this, because I will be trimming these up using the trimmer by George, and I can't have the basting line there. So this is going to trim up really cool. I made sure I had like at least 1/2 inch out there. Okay. For the fabric, there's the fabric edge. And then here is the batting and the stabilizer that will be trimmed away all at one go using the trimmer by George. So we're getting there. We are definitely getting there. I have much more to do on this. I'm going to go ahead and start my house blocks. I like to have those working while I'm doing other things. That's the benefit of a multi-needle for sure. Let me see. Somebody emailed me and asked me about the quilting table that was on my multi-needle that I'm using. So if you are in the market for a multi-needle and you're getting the 1060, the Brother 1060, I understand that you look, let me see. You still couldn't find which med I give Frito. Jerry, okay. I might have taken it out. I'll have to check. That was you, Carol. Okay. Well, Carol, actually, it was a lot more than you, my friend. So on the 1060, that quilting table does not come standard in the box like it did on the 1055. Perhaps Brother thought that it's not used enough by most people who purchase the multi-needle. So my advice to her was, what's the advantage of the rotary blade and scan and cut on fabric? Yeah, that was you, Pam. I saw that. Oh, I see that rotary blade. You didn't say that rotary blade. I didn't know you meant the rotary blade for the scan and cut. I thought you meant a rotary blade. Sorry. So my email to you is incorrect. All right. So I didn't catch your meaning. I'm sorry. What is that? Oh. So if you quilt like I do, or embroider like I do, where you're doing a lot of applique, maybe you're doing background quilting for projects, you're using Designs by Juju hoop fillers, or you're using clear blue tiles from Kimberbell, or you're using Designs by Juju's edge to edge, or Millie Scott, or any of those background quilting designs, you want to use the largest hoop for the fewest passes to be able to background quilt your smaller projects. Those are things I would not put on a long arm, right? Like a table runner. So I highly recommend that quilting table, because those larger hoops droop. So, it hooks on, like if I'm the back of the machine, the weight of the hoop, it'll droop, and it will catch on the inner legs of the base of the machine. You'll hear it go clang and it'll up over it. Okay. But you really don't want that to happen. Plus, you can pull the hoop and do your applique work right there on the quilting table. So very, very handy. If what you do most of the time is tubular items like hats, shoes, socks, sweatshirts, cuffs, that kind of thing, bags, you probably don't need it. So you can make that decision for yourself. I just want to let you guys know that. All right. So that's what I heard. Oh, and the cabinet is the Ava cabinet from Arrow. It's designed specifically for a multi-needle, and it manages the shake of the multi-needle. You really need something very sturdy. You can use if you want to use a husky table that raises up high, you can, but you won't have that cutout, right? So you don't have to have that. It's handy, but the husky table, I would, yeah, you can do that, but lock those wheels or that thing will move all over the place. Okay, I do not recommend a flexi spot. It can handle 300 pounds, which is fine, but you're going to get some shake on that. All right. Am I an affiliate with Butler Electronics? I am not. No, I am not. No. Okay. So yesterday, also on a project update, I went ahead and did get my quilted Christmas tree down. I'm going to bring down, this is the classy American design wall. Let me bring this down and show you. I did move the pieces down. Whoop. Come on. Oh, it's hung up. It's going to go back up. Come on down. There you go. It straightened itself out and it's going to go up. So I did move all those down. Okay. So that I could place everything. I need to get a couple more red squares, green squares, and white cut of the 5x5s. And where's that pattern? Do I have that? I don't know if yeah, I have it. I'll show you guys. I've got to get some more cut. I also might change out some of the lighter yellow-green squares. This is the pattern right here. I might change out some of the lighter yellow-green squares for a more traditional green and get that done. So I'm not a fan of all the yellow-green that came. Some of it is fine. I feel like mine's kind of half and half and too much. So that got moved down to the bottom of the design wall so that I could get the top together. It's just gorgeous. It works fine. All right. So today I wanted to talk to you about putting on borders. And the lady who emailed me about making closet doors into design wall, great idea. Quilting with Harriet did that. And I think I have a video I did with her, and it says it in the title, Visiting Quilting with Harriet. That was last April. Check that out. We go around her room, and her room has those closet doors that are covered in the flannel for a design wall. So just FYI. You can't figure out how to give a sticker. Darlene, a super sticker is underneath the chat, it has a $sign. You can tap that, and that will allow you to put in a credit card for a sticker. Certainly not necessary, greatly appreciated though. Helps buy dog biscuits and fabric. Yes, and things like that. So you would love to see the video from Quilting with Harriet, Linda. Yeah, so it was a live stream. I was up there teaching at a workshop in Indiana. And it was in April, end of April. So go back on my live streams and search by date, or you can on my channel, Power Tools with Thread, Quilting with Harriet, see if it comes up. Okay. So, all righty. Now, so obviously I did find my Frito bucket from yesterday, you guys. Oh, so much. I am so close to being finished with this quilt, and I could not get to it yesterday. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to bring you along with me, just like I say in my video. And today, you use 2 kitchen cabinets for your 10 needle. That's a great idea, Penguin and Pins. Put them apart so you've got that gap. I love it. That's fabulous. That's fabulous. That'll work well. Gives you your drawers that you need. Very, very sturdy. Where did I find it, Bernadette? It was back here behind the long arm, way over there. I couldn't see it. Yeah, on the back of the long arm table. I know. You're on the list for the Maitland visit in February. Excellent, Ellen. So excellent. Dave put on our Facebook group. I need a Dottie bucket. I know, Pam. So Dave put on our Facebook group that there's a wait list for the sewing studio in Maitland. Elaine called me, and we got this kind of work, and she's like, he's waiting on you to do something, and I thought I was waiting on him to do something. So I emailed him everything he needs. Eric, I emailed him everything he needs last night, and then he'll put it on the calendar. Okay. So I understand there's that 1 or 2 of the classes. There's already 20 people on the wait list, and there's 2 classes, and they're 20 max. So only 40. All right. Someone said that yesterday. Yes, Quilt Wench. Yeah. So I need an air tag on the Frito bucket. That's a great idea, Chris. Except, I know, I don't like going on my phone and doing things while I'm on live with you. It just moves around my room. So, hey, my big hoop, the 14 by 14 came in yesterday for the multi-needle. So I'm going to be doing some designs on that. So you're purchasing a 6 needle Summers. Good for you. That is what I can afford now, and it comes with the table. Good for you. You will love that machine. You will just love it. That's great. No, Maitland cannot do standing room only. No. We don't. It's a 6-hour class, y'all. No. I am teaching Snapplique at El Campo. Yes. That'll be on Thursday. And we're going to start early at 9. So.
Did you feed these dogs?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. I did feed the dogs. 7:30.
They're lying.
Oh, they're lying to you? Of course they're lying. He said, did Mama give you breakfast? And they're like, no. All righty. So Again, I'm going to get these done. I have got to get these borders done. So the border down here on the side to side, this one here, it's a 2-inch border. Okay. Did that one. Need to do the ones on the tops and bottoms. And then I have the 4-inch borders for the outer border. And then the quilt top is finished. So I've done this before in a video, and if it's a repeat for y'all that know what I'm doing, I'm sorry. That's, this is my sewing journey. So what I'm going to do is just go through the basics again, because I've got a lot of embroiderers that are like, I think I can do that quilting thing because I can quilt my quilts myself now and don't have to send them out to the long armor. And that is kind of a new thing. So yes, I will be teaching snap applique in Florida. Yes, that is the point of the class. Yes. Okay. So when you do borders, now this is an inner border. Some quilts will have 2. This one does. This one has 2. Some only has 1. Some don't have any. It's totally up to, it is totally up to the designer, of course. That's not necessary. And a lot of modern quilts don't have borders at all for you modern quilters. Alrighty. So I already have this one done. And I'm going to I think I've got them all together. I do. I need to trim them up. Do I? No, I do not. I need to add another one. So on the pattern on this border, this is letter I. Letter J. And it says piece the fabric J strips end to end. Now, what that means, piecing them end to end, is not a straight. You can do a straight, but I don't like straight because of the bulk. Okay. Can I show you the plumb line cord I made for the long arm? Paula, I will when I put one on the long arm. Okay. I will, but I'm not doing that today. I've showed it before, but when I put a quilt on the long arm, I'll show you. I picked it up and moved it, so it's Dottie proof right now. It's puppy proof. Okay. All right. So I put mine perpendicular to one another and do a diagonal 90-degree, 45-degree angle seam. Okay. So that means one goes face down. That's the one on the bottom. I'm sorry, face up. That's the one on the bottom. And one goes face down, and that's the one on the top. And I put them perpendicular. And you kind of have to watch, because if you look, this one has a really wide selvage. See that white? Really wide selvage. I make sure I can see a little bit of the colored fabric so that I don't catch the selvage in the seam. I don't want that. So just make sure you're outside the selvage. So where are we on this? We have one done. Dottie's barking. She's so cute, y'all. I just can't get mad at her. I just can't. Just can't. All right, let me show you. What did you do here? You made a DBJJ placemat into a pillowcase. That's brilliant. I love that. All right. You got the Juju bundle. Atta girl, Kathy Webb. All right. Here are 2 more pieces, and then these are going to be trimmed. We're roughhousing now, and we're in my sewing room is what we are doing. We're roughhousing. Yeah. I don't have the other camera up, y'all. It's in my bag. Okay. Here we go. Turn on my machine. So I have this one on the bottom is the one I just sewed. Okay. And it's face up, pretty side up. And I'm going to take another one and pretty side down. Okay. So I'm going to put this pretty side down. All right. So what you have here, I want to show y'all. Let me get a little ruler. I got this new Creative Grids. That'll work. Okay. This was in a sew sampler. I love that. Let me put that back. That's too small. I'll just use this big one. Okay. I want to show you guys. Oh, I got to show you what Keith made me with his 3D printer. Thumbs up and subscribe. How cool is that? In pink. Yay. Love pink. Isn't my husband great? He just got that 3D printer. I love this. Y'all give a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. So cool. So cool. All right. I'm going to put that right there so you guys can see it. Oh, it's going to fall. It's just taped. I got to come up with a better solution. Okay. So you have these pieces perpendicular and they're at a 90 degree. You can't see it that well. Let me put it under something you can see. There, that's better. Much better. Okay. The thing about borders is to cut the border as the pattern tells you to and make the quilt fit to it. If your quilt doesn't fit to it, if your quilt is too big for the border, find a seam where you can snug that quilt up a tiny bit. Maybe take a little bit wider seam allowance than the 1/4 inch and do that in a couple of spots so it's inconspicuous. If you do your border to fit your quilt top, your quilt won't be square and your long armor won't like you. Just saying. Okay. What's Keith doing? Did he show you guys? What's Keith up to? Yeah. Oh, you're just saying good job, Keith, on the thumbs up. I love that. I know he's so handy. He's such a good man. So sweet. Supports my channel. I couldn't do what I do without him. Absolutely. All right. So now that I have these at a perpendicular, okay, lower one, the bottom one is face up and the top one is face down. I take a ruler. Actually, I use my seam tape right here. You can ease it in if it's not too much, and I'll show you how to do that too, if I need to. So if you need to ease in your quilt top, you're absolutely right, Ruth. If you need to ease it in, okay, you want to, I'll show you when we get to doing it on the big table, but you want to lift up on the bottom and give it a little lift, okay, and pin it. And that's how you ease in something that's larger than on the top than what's on the bottom. Okay. You let your feed dogs do the work. Okay. You can also give a tiny bit of resistance at the machine and it'll pull the lower fabric in faster than the top. But be careful about that because you can get puckers really easily. So I have this ruler here at a 90 or at a 45 degree angle. This is the part that's going to be cut off in my selvage. And you want to draw a line if you're a newbie, okay? Doesn't matter what you do. Oh, I don't want a pen. It does matter. Where's my pencil? I usually use a friction marker so that it'll iron away, okay? So I'm going to hold this down. And you want to go from corner to corner. It does not matter which corner you do. Probably if you're left-handed, it'll go from your upper right to your lower left. I'm right-handed, so it goes from my upper left down to my lower right. It doesn't matter so long as it's the same on all of your borders throughout the entire quilt, okay? You don't want one going one way and one going the other way. That looks weird. And then you can pin it if you need to pin it. That's fine too. So I'm just going to take it and I'm going to sew exactly on that line so that I don't have any kind of jag. If it's not right on it, it'll look, sorry guys, they're playing. So you want to make sure it's a really good 45 degree angle. Okay. Like this. And it's exactly corner to corner. Okay. So that when it is laid out flat, it's smooth. See how it's smooth? Both sides are smooth. If you're off a little bit, it's not a huge deal. Okay. That's a lie. It is a big deal if it's in the quilt. If it's in your binding, you can sneak around that because the binding is folded in half. But if it's not smooth, I would unpick it and do it again. Okay. So I just sewed that. This is where people get twisted. And on binding strips, y'all, don't use solids. Don't do it. You'll be sorry. Don't do it. Okay. So what I'm going to do, now I've just sewn this, okay, all done. My top strip is still upside down, face down. I'm going to take the end of the top strip, smooth it out. Let me smooth this out so you can see the end of my hand, okay? And I'm going to fold it over one time so I'm looking at the fabric face up, all right? This is where people get twisted. So I just sewed this, it's face down. I'm pulling it over, okay, so you can see. I'm going to fold it toward me one time so I'm looking at the face up. Don't do it more than once. You'll be sorry. Now I'm looking at this face up, and now I can do my next one, okay? All right. And then here we go again. Now I have that diagonal seam tape on here, which means I can turn it diagonally, okay? I'm going to start right in the V, and I'm going to make sure that the red line in the center of my diagonal seam tape, this is from Cluck Cluck Sew. Y'all don't get the cheap stuff from China. Use the one from Cluck Cluck Sew. It is perfect. It's got the right 1/4 inch. All right. If you find it, they carry it in your local shops too. Please patronize your local quilt shops. Okay. So now I'm done. This is the last strip. All right. I need to cut these. Now you can cut, if you want to get all fancy and rotary cutter it, you know, 1/4 inch seam, you can eyeball it, which is what I do. I live on the edge, y'all. I just trim it. Okay. Let's see here. I'm looking forward to September, you guys. We're going to have such a good time in El Campo. So excited for that. Somebody asked the question, what size is our project we're going to do for Snap-a-K? Because I only have a 5x7 hoop. That's fine. It's a surprise, but your 5x7 will work just fine. So here's my little, these are selvages. Don't need these, okay? All right, it's time to press. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, Kellyanne, you're right. There are so many knockoffs. That's absolutely right. Always buy from trusted brands. Usually, y'all, trusted brands are people who are quilters that came up with a product that they had a need for. I'm turning the laptop so I can read your comments, and I'm going to turn the camera so I can see y'all. There we go. Don't look at my crazy scorched top. I still haven't replaced that. All right. So now I'm going to press this, and I'm not using steam. I don't use steam when I press because steam, you use steam to bend fabric to your will, okay? And I don't want some of you use steam, and that's fine, knock yourself out. But I use steam all the time in garment sewing. It does not matter which way you press up or down your seams here. I do not recommend pressing these open. I really don't. They're very strong when they're like this, okay? You can do what you want. I don't. But steam is designed, it will make your fabric stretch and merge, not merge. What's the word I'm looking for? It'll make your fabric do things you don't want it to, okay? Steam will allow the fibers in the weave to move around. You know, when things are wet, that's when they move. We don't want wet. I don't want wet. So that's a thing. I know some people steam like crazy. Donna Jordan did it all the time. But if you looked, most of the time, God rest her soul, most of the time, Donna Jordan was working with batiks. And that doesn't matter. Batiks are made completely different from quilting cottons. It's a different manufacturing process. Batiks have wax in them a little bit. All right. Good. Okay. I'll show you how I did mine. There we go. Okay. I've been talking about that quilt top since the beginning. Yeah, I know. You know, that quilt top, I've been working on it over a year, almost a year. I think they had some slow delivery at one point. Are we talking about, that's the 2024 Mystery Designer Quilt of the Month from Fat Quarter Shop. What heat set it, do I have my iron set at? So my iron is very hot. It's the Sapporo gravity fed iron. This thing is 10 plus years old, y'all. Okay. They have it on Amazon. They're about $100. It's heavy and it's hot, but I love it because it doesn't have an auto off. I don't like the nanny state telling me my iron has to shut off. I'm grown up enough. Okay. Plus, if I leave my iron on, I have it hooked into an Echo Dot. So I can just go on my phone and turn it off. Isn't that great? Thank you, Diane, for your super sticker. That's very thoughtful. Figured it out. Atta girl. You will not be beat. Will Dottie be at El Campo? Yes, she will. Matter of fact, Keith bought another playpen just for the motorhome. So the new Sapporos have an auto shut off? Oh, no. Really? Do I have an Embrilliance discount code? I do not hope. Not right now. I don't have my own code. Embrilliance puts those discount codes out. So I'm hoping they put another one out for Labor Day. They might not, though, because the last one just expired the 25th of August. So maybe they will, maybe they won't. But hopefully they put another one out before El Campo. So yes, it did end on the 25th. Okay, here's my great big hoop, my 14 by 14. We'll unbox it another day, okay? Let me put this over here. Okie doke. So y'all, this is a ginormous cutting table. One of the easiest ways to cut your pieces to the right size is to layer up your cutting mats, okay? So, you know, you can put them end to end. I kind of layer them a little bit. It's a little bit easier if you just overlap them. So I'm going to put this all the way down here. I have another mat. And I'm going to put, I have it turned the wrong way. I'm going to put, so this ends at 60 down here on the bottom mat. And I'm going to just put this and put the 30 and get it straight on the 60, the 30 mark on this one, okay, and the 60. So I can count by tens to get new math, not really, but I can count by 10. It's just a little bit easier, okay? And I'm going to line it up perfectly straight with the mat underneath it. And that way everything will work. Okay. I'm going to cut off my selvage ends first. No, they're not cheap. Oh no, you got a travel iron in May and it's dead. Oh no, I'm sorry. Mine have worked really well. I've gone through 2 or 3 Cricut mini presses. Those have died. Okay. I'm going to cut off my selvage ends, both of them at the same time. Okay. El Campo is going to be fun. Fun, fun, fun. All right. You arrive Wednesday. We're going to have an ice cream social, just like we did last year, and that's always fun. And then what? Thursday, we're having, the guys are cooking, and we're going to do pork sliders again. And we're not going to do the, what's it called? I forget if Bonnie's watching, where we had the potluck. We're not doing that this year. Okay. So I'm going to put my ends just over, just a tiny bit over my 0 line. Okay. Yes, Quilting with Harriet. Be sure to read the README text. You guys are going to get an email with instructions and stuff. All right. So I'm going to put this on a line where I can see here. Okay. Let me get this straight. Let me put that one on there. There we go. So I've got this line matching with this line. All is good. I'm cutting these both at the same time, you guys. That's what I'm doing. This needs to be subcut into 2 2¼ 74.5 inch strips. All right. 74.5. So I have these all twisted. Not a big deal. Keep this straight. So this is, let's see, 60 here. That's not even. And then I need, I've only got 12. I need to move my mat out a little bit more. This is a handy way of doing this, I'm telling you, because we don't all have super long. Y'all, I'm all kind of twisted. Hold on here. What happened? Ugh. I thought I got this straightened out. Keith will have seam rippers and replacement ends there. We've had so many people request them that he knows he's got to get some built up before, you know, get the stock back up. The last time he did a big stock was before the cruises in June. All right. So I need to have at least 14 available on that one, right? 14.5. Let me see if I have enough. So move this out. So the 20, my 20 is, if I do the 10, the mat will fall off. So the 20 is even with, the 20 is even with the 60, right? I need 14.5 after the 0. Do you guys follow what I'm talking about there, or is that confusing? Okay. So the 60 is here. So I need to go 14.5 more because it's 74.5. Kids couldn't figure this out today. It's crazy. None of them can add. Let me see. So I need to go to 34.5. Right there is my cut. Perfect. $34.5. All right. Woo! That's all I had left. Just that little bit. And now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to cut it on the 0 and get me a nice, clean, perfect edge here. Okay. All right. So now these are 74.5. Okie dokie. So now, to get your border on your quilt, I'm going to put this one away to the side, put all my stuff away, and I got to take it down. I'm just going to pull it off there. All righty. What you looking for? You'd love an East Coast retreat. I'm only going to be doing 4 of these a year, y'all. That's all I can travel. My travel is my travel meter is maxed out. So I also have stopped doing the lecture demos because those aren't really beneficial to anybody. I think if you want to see a lecture demo, you can watch my YouTube channel and see the ghost, and then you'll know exactly what I do. All right. Whoa. I got it. And I'm going to get my little bowl of pins here. Okay. Y'all, look at the backing for this quilt. It is enough, just the backing is enough to motivate me to get this done. This backing is just gorgeous. Oh my gosh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It's so sweet. This is so sweet. And it came with a quilt label, iron-on quilt label. So, okay. Y'all, so if a brother dealer wants me to come up, they are welcome to invite me. I will come and we can get all kinds of good stuff done. All right. So this quilt, I kind of accordion fold it whatever side I'm not doing, so that the weight of the quilt is up on the table. A lot of you do this on the floor, and that's cool too. Okay. I hope I did this right. It might be, I don't think it's too long. All right. There we go. This looks great. Okay. So border face down and edges meeting exactly. This is how you can make sure your quilt is square, y'all. Make sure your quilt is laid out flat. Ha! Perfect. It's perfect. All right. I love this. I got to show you guys. Look, look, look. Very happy. Very happy. Let me get this cord out of the way. Very happy. Okay. So we're laying flat. We're starting right there and all the way down. We are, sorry for the lighting, that door. I should have put my quilt up right here. Okay. It's perfect. I don't know if you can see it. It's pretty dark. Sorry. It's perfect. So how I pin this, let me get more lighting over here maybe. Yeah, that's a little bit better for y'all. Okay. My pins, what do I do with them? Are they under here? They're right here. Okay. So I pin on both ends and then half again in the middle. Pin, you guys, do not do this freehand. You absolutely must pin your borders on. If some of you are struggling with borders, pinning is going to make all the difference in the world. They act like little fingers, preventing the lower fabric. Sorry, I put a pin in my mouth. Yes, I did. I don't want to hear it. All right. So I grew up with my mother. She always had pins in her mouth. Just what it is. Okay. And then in the middle, you have to do this laying out. Okay. You absolutely have to do it with it laid out. Don't just start. A lot of beginner quilters don't know any better, and they just start at the beginning with their border on top and they just through the machine. You don't want to do that. And then trim it. Don't do that. You will not have a square quilt. And like I said, your long armor won't like you. It's going to be wonky. It won't fold properly. Half again in the middle again. These pins are going to prevent the lower fabric from being pulled through faster than the top. I like to pin on a seam where it's possible that they could get flipped up by the plate. Let me show you here what I'm talking about. So this seam is going that way, and as it goes through underneath the, is that not even? No, it does not look even. As it goes through underneath the presser foot, you know how they get flipped up? That's annoying. Okay. I'm going to trust that the border is straight. So if my quilt's hanging out a tiny bit underneath the border, half again in the middle, I don't care. Okay. I'm going to make sure that that is straight. Ease all that in, y'all. Make sure it works. This looks good. And I like to have about 4 or 5 fingers in between. Okay. This is looking really good. And maybe one more down here. It is really easy when you're sewing straight like this for the bottom fabric to shift away from the edge. And next thing you know, you've got a gap and you sewed a hole. So pay close attention to all of that. Very easy to do that. And you don't realize it until it's on the long arm. And then you're like, oh no, that ain't good. Okay. Okay. anywhere it feels like it might slip away from me when I'm not paying attention. Also, there's a hand technique I'm going to show you when you're sewing to keep it so that things stay where you want, in addition to your pins. Okay, that's good. Let's go to the machine. I told you I wouldn't get this done unless I was doing it with y'all. My life. Here we go. Is there more than one Facebook page? The one you found hasn't had a post since May. So, Evelyn, there is a public Facebook page, which is Power Tools with Thread. That's mine. There is a private Facebook page. That's our group. We have like 35,000 members in there. It's crazy. And then there is a Facebook page for the El Campo visit. And if you don't Facebook, please join the El Campo Facebook page. Bonnie sent you an email with a link to the page. Okay, you please join it. You're going to get all kinds of information. And if you don't do Facebook, please email Bonnie so she can make sure that you get all the updates. Okay, that's important. And she friends everybody, not like me. I don't friend people. Y'all send me friend requests all the time. I don't friend people. I'm funny about that. Let's see. I love you guys, but I have to have boundaries. Okay. What's going on here with my camera? Let's fix it. All right. So I want to show you questions about using solid borders. So the issue with using a solid border is when you're putting it together, it is very easy because solids are dyed differently than printed fabrics. So these fabrics right here are printed, and there's a definite difference between the top and the bottom, okay? When you're using solids, it's super easy to get those turned the wrong way, and you'll end up with a twisty. I didn't say solid for borders. I said no solids for, it's the same idea for binding. They twist. You can't tell which way is right, and you'll get it twisted too many times in the middle because you don't, it happens. Okay, I have screwed that up before. You probably won't, but I did. All righty. I don't have my glasses with me, y'all. So here we go. I want to show you my finger pressing technique, my finger technique for getting fabrics through the machine. I learned this technique from Janet Prey of Islander Sewing Systems. Fabulous garment seamstress. Fabulous. Her mother learned this in industry back in the day. So I'm going to zoom you in so you can see what my fingers are doing here. I lost my remote on for the top of this machine. Okay. Just a second. I'm going to move y'all. Just a second. Let me turn you just a little bit so you can watch. Okay. I don't care for solids either. They're not my favorite fabrics at all. Just not a fan. Okay. So this has a 1/4 inch foot on it. At the beginning and at the end, I am going to back stitch just a couple of stitches. So when you're sewing, again, I learned this from Janet, and now I've incorporated this into every single time I put something under, whether I'm piecing or whatever, okay? Thumb under, fingers on top, and roll forward, all right? Thumb under, fingers on top, and roll forward, and then use your fingers like pins. So my hand is not flat here. My fingers are open, all right? So I am going along this 1/4 inch. I'm looking right here. I don't stare at the needle. The needle has a job. It knows what it's doing. I just need to pay attention to make sure that my fabric is on track. This is a landing strip like an airplane, and I'm coming in on runway 15 west, all right? And I'm doing this. So I'm just going to, and when I feel that little seam get lifted up because of this plate, I lift the fabric and get it flat again and hold it with my fingers just like that. You'll see me lift it. I do not stitch over my pins, okay? All right, where I'm staring at is I move my eyes from here, back here, to up here, to the toe. I don't watch the needle. Right here, I wanna make sure that that edge of that fabric is exactly next to the quarter inch edge of the presser foot. Y'all, this is so easy to unsquare a quilt that you work so hard on. So having thumb under, fingers on top, and flip forward, make sure that fabric feeds without easing, and you get nice, smooth, pretty stitches. This is one of the best techniques I've ever learned. I learned it from her in a craftsy class, y'all. So I'm sharing that little tidbit. This is so important. So I will pull the top fabric back and make sure it's perfectly lined up. That prevents having any gaps. Okay. Okay. Making sure that that is down where I want. This keeps your quilt square. Okay. Y'all are asking questions. Yeah, sometimes I lift it because sometimes your seam allowances that are pointing toward the needle will get hung up right here on this plate, your needle plate. This happens with all machines, all machines. This is a straight stitch machine. It's the Brother PQ 1500. It's an older machine, works well. The 1600 works good. Brother has that one. This is identical to the Baby Lock Jane. Okay, I've got a seam allowance here that may get pushed toward me by the presser foot. So I'm going to keep my finger on the dog ear, all right? I don't cut off my dog ears. That makes sure that that lays nice and flat, okay? You got to watch this thing. It'll take off on you. You love your 1600. This is great. You want to share the link to all who are members of our guild and those with a long arm. Of course, absolutely, Cindy. Absolutely. If anybody has troubles with borders, have them, be sure to tell them to zip through all the stuff with the dogs and get out to where I'm actually like half an hour in. You can share a timestamp wherever I'm starting. Okay, just say, hey, anybody who's having trouble with borders, watch this. Timestamp, 25:30 or whatever it is. Oh, there's our hour. We are done. I want to get this finished. Our last little, now you go that way. Yeah, that's right. You have to talk to your quilt, y'all. It has an attitude sometimes, just like teenage girls. You just have to talk to it. Tell it what it's doing. I'm almost finished. So I want to ask you, please, if you enjoyed the content, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe. With lots of tips here for quilters and machine embroiderers. Yep. Okay. Is there any room left in El Campo? Y'all, I think we're full. I'm pretty sure we're full. Okay. All righty. I'm just going to make sure we're nice and even. Don't assume that if it started straight at the pin that it ended straight, because it may not. Don't assume that. Always double check and make sure. If you notice, I double check my alignment on these two pieces every 5 or 6 inches. Okay. All right, I'm at the end. I'm going to back stitch. There it is, all done, and it's perfect. So let's take a look at it real quick before we go. We got wide. This video is a keeper. Well, good, Elizabeth. I'm glad you liked it. Thank you. I'm going to come out and show you guys. I'm going to spin it around just a tiny bit. Okay. Is there a benefit to adding a border to the quilt other than making it bigger? I love a border, just wondering. No, I don't guess so. You know, I just do what the pattern tells me. But if you do need to make it bigger, borders are a great way to do that. So I want to show you how this came out. Okay. This is good. This turned out really good. It fits exactly. We don't have any puckers. There's the side exactly like you want it. And we don't have any puckers. Ta-da! And I don't have any holes. I say that. I haven't looked at it completely. No, we don't have any holes. And it's perfect. Look at how beautiful that is. So that's how I know this quilt is square, because it exactly fit. Now, if it was a little bit bigger, what I would do is on a seam where it does not matter. This is a hack, you guys. I know we're getting late, but on a seam where it does not matter. So if you have points on your edge, it matters. Don't do that. Don't tip those points. But if you're a little bit big on your quilt top, you can take a seam where it doesn't matter, several of them, and maybe do an 1/8 inch and kind of scooch it in just a tiny bit, a 1/16 to an eighth of an inch wider seam, and that will shrink your quilt top. If your quilt top is too short for your border, then you want your border piece toward the feed dogs and let the feed dogs help ease that in, but be careful for puckers, okay? All right. Thank you, Linda. I love the fabric too. This is why the borders frame your quilts. They sure do. Also, blah, blah, blah. Thank you guys for watching so much. I really appreciate it. I love y'all. I will see you tomorrow, and we will visit again, all right? Be sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you later. You guys go sew something.